Welcome again. We are going to spend this particular video talking about sequence 2, which means that you have managed to survive sequence number 1 and you're still around, so congratulations for that. Let's take a look at sequence 2. Now, this is kind of one of the more exciting ones. I know it's exciting. What's exciting? But this one is really useful and practical to you. So what we're going to do is put together 3 things here. One of them will be to pick a company, could be international, could be global, could be local, something that you want to work for. And it might be something you want to work for in the near future, but it also could be something that you would like to work on or for in maybe 5 years from now. So it could be a long-term thing. Something that you want to know more about because perhaps you might want to do a job interview for them. And in a job interview, they often ask you questions about the company. What do you know about the company? Why should we hire you? And if we want to hire you, then you should know something about who we are. So this particular thing, this will have multiple deliverables. Okay, so you'll have an employer research proposal, which will be in memo format. You'll have a resume and a cover letter targeted towards the company that you choose to investigate. So 3 things you'll be working on and turning in. And then an oral presentation in which you present your company to all of us in a very short period of time so we can all get a really good idea of the type of research that you have done. This is going to continue to be in IEEE format. Again, we're just introducing you to IEEE in this particular class. It's an engineering format. Not all of you will encounter it, but you will be able to recognize it and use it on a minor role, as a minor thing that's in your tool arsenal. So a proposal, this is a proposal. The first memo that you did was a feasibility memo, and the purpose of it was to prove that something that you saw as a problem was feasible to fix in a particular way. This one is going to be a proposal in which you propose researching a company or organization that interests you. It could be a nonprofit too. One that you'd like to work for, either as an intern or as an employee. And basically you're proposing that you work for the company, right? So what is it about the company that intrigues you? Why is it a good fit? So the memo itself should be no more than 2 pages long. Again, there should be a references list in IEEE at the end. You did that in the first memo. This one might have more sources because you might need to look up a few more places. So you may have more at the end there. You are again using traditional memo format. I should have given you some comments on the first one so you could improve on that. Again, there's a memo format linked here if you need it. And then there's the indianaintern.net. That's a good place for an internship start if that's the purpose of where you're going to go. So you could choose a company based on those. You could also look for, Monster, Indeed, or jobs.com, or any of those sort of things where you're finding opportunities to find a company that's hiring in your particular field or the field that you want to be in 5 years from now. Now, the memo should include a brief history of the organization, any products or services they offer, your sense of the culture of the organization, and the strengths and weaknesses of the organization based on what your research is. And I will provide you with some locations for where you can find those things. So this is the suggested thought process on what you're going to be doing. I should be able to see these headings in your memo. That's product deliverable number 1. And that's where we'll start. The second thing then will be a resume and a cover letter directed at that particular company. So you'll do the research, you'll know more about this company, and then you'll be writing a resume that gives you goals and overview of what you want to do to produce about yourself to show this particular company. And again, remember that the cover letter, which is a little less common these days than in the past, we'll talk more about why that's useful to you. But it really is a useful thing. It does set you apart because not many people do include resume or cover letters. So the purpose of the cover letter is to get somebody to read your resume. Purpose of the resume is to get you a job interview. Purpose of the job interview is to get you the job, right? So multiple steps in getting a job. There's lots of things you want to provide. There's some ideas of where to start, and of course we'll be doing some reading too. Research now, a cover letter, we'll get to doing more of that as well. A lot of people haven't done cover letters, but this is a basic idea again of where you're starting. If you want to find this particular document, you're going to go over to content in the course, you'll find, again, don't forget below weekly information here on the side, left-hand side. Down here at the bottom is major project information. We are past sequence 1, now we're in sequence 2. Okay, so here's where we're going to find all of this stuff. Obviously, README first, that's the one that we're looking at, or we just did look at. There's also a list of Purdue Fort Wayne databases in which you can use to research company, plus a librarian contact information if you need some help. Don't forget the librarians are there to help you, right? So you don't have to be live either. You could set up an appointment online like this via Zoom. You could use the chat feature. There's a list of business resources as well. There's also cover letter tips folder, resume tips folder, and student samples folder. So lots of stuff here for you to take a look at, to use. And then, of course, we will be over here back to the weekly information. You can see that sequence 2 starts here in week 5. And we'll be spending several weeks working on that until you turn in the final products in week 9 over here. Okay, 9. When we get to that week, then you'll be just about ready for a break. We do have several breaks throughout the semester, so keep in mind those things. For when you need a mental break, right? We all need those. So this will be a good start for you to figure out how you're going to do sequence number 2. I love researching those. I love seeing what you come up with, and I love seeing how practical they can be for you as a student and for your career. So, ciao.